little friends! Welcome to Bright Buddies!
On a bright and peaceful morning in a beautiful forest, there lived a kind little rabbit named Bunny. Bunny was known throughout the forest for his generous heart. Whenever an animal needed help, Bunny was always there. One day he helped a squirrel gather nuts that had fallen from her basket. Later, he carefully returned a baby bird to its nest after it accidentally fell from a tree. Because of his kindness, all the animals loved and respected him. Bunny believed that helping others was the most important thing anyone could do. One evening, as Bunny returned to his cozy little cottage at the edge of the forest, he met Wise Owl. Owl smiled and said, "Bunny, kindness is a wonderful gift, but remember, not everyone deserves your trust. Be careful when helping strangers." Bunny politely nodded, but deep inside he believed everyone deserved a chance. That night, dark clouds gathered over the forest. Strong winds shook the trees and heavy rain poured from the sky. The animals hurried home to stay safe from the storm. Inside his warm cottage, Bunny lit a lantern, sat beside the fireplace, and enjoyed the peaceful sound of rain outside. Suddenly, a loud knock echoed through the house. "Knock! Knock! Knock!" Startled, Bunny slowly walked to the door and peeked outside. Standing in the rain was a fox, completely soaked and shivering from the cold. The fox looked exhausted and frightened. "Please help me," he begged. "I am lost, and I have nowhere to stay tonight. The storm is too dangerous. Please let me stay until morning." Bunny felt sorry for the fox. He remembered Owl's warning but couldn't ignore someone who seemed to be suffering. Believing he was doing the right thing, Bunny invited the fox inside. The fox gratefully stepped into the warm cottage. Bunny gave him a bowl of hot soup, fresh carrots, and a comfortable place near the fire. The fox thanked Bunny again and again. However, while Bunny wasn't paying attention, the fox quietly looked around the house. His eyes lingered on Bunny's shelves filled with food supplies. A sly smile briefly appeared on his face, but Bunny didn't notice. Feeling proud that he had helped someone in need, Bunny soon prepared for bed. The fox also pretended to go to sleep, and before long the cottage became quiet. In the middle of the night, Bunny suddenly woke up. He heard strange rustling sounds coming from the kitchen. Curious and concerned, he quietly got out of bed and followed the noise. As he peeked around the corner, he was shocked by what he saw. The fox was stuffing Bunny's food supplies into a large sack. Carrots, vegetables, and stored food were disappearing into the bag. Bunny couldn't believe his eyes. "What are you doing?" he shouted. The fox froze for a moment and then slowly turned around. Instead of looking ashamed, he began to laugh. "You were too easy to fool," the fox sneered. "I never needed help. I only pretended to be lost so I could get into your house and steal your food." Bunny felt heartbroken. He had opened his home and shared everything he had, only to be betrayed. The fox grabbed the sack and ran toward the door, hoping to escape before anyone could stop him. Just then, Wise Owl, who had heard the commotion, flew to the cottage. Hearing Bunny's cries for help, nearby animals also rushed to the scene. The squirrel, the deer, the hedgehog, and many others quickly surrounded the cottage. When the fox opened the door, he found himself trapped. There was no way to escape. Realizing he had been caught, the fox dropped the stolen food and lowered his head in shame. The fox looked at Bunny and quietly said, "I'm sorry. I thought kindness was weakness. I thought I could take advantage of you and get away with it." Wise Owl stepped forward and shook his head. "Kindness is never weakness," Owl said firmly. "But trust must be earned. A good heart should always be protected by wisdom." Bunny listened carefully. Although he was hurt by what had happened, he understood Owl's lesson. From that day forward, Bunny continued helping animals in need because kindness was still an important part of who he was. However, he also learned to be careful. Before trusting strangers, he took time to learn more about them and make sure they truly needed help. As the sun rose over the forest the next morning, Bunny smiled, knowing he had learned an important lesson. And from that day on, the forest became a safer and happier place for everyone. Moral of the story: A kind heart is precious, but wisdom protects it. Help others, but do not blindly trust everyone who knocks at your door.
Subscribe to Bright Buddies. Thank you for watching.